At this point, I want to emphasize a few important points we can extrapolate from what we know thus far. Facebook's internal research revealed at the very least a strong correlation between use of their platforms and some forms of deteriorating mental health in kids and teens. But here's the larger issue. Even if Facebook didn't find proof of a causal link, it's unreasonable to assume that a company as large and successful as Facebook would ignore the social environment in which their young users live and scroll. If you accept this general assertion, which I hold is reasonable, then you must also accept that Mark Zuckerberg and the rest of Facebook's top executives were very well aware of the real-world context behind all of that research. And the context will make you sick. Between 2009 and 2019, the percentage of high school students who experienced persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness increased by more than 10%. The percentage of high school students who seriously considered attempting suicide increased by 5%. Numbers regarding suicide plans and suicide attempts also trended in the wrong direction. And even less severe mental health crises can lead to risky sexual behavior, drug use, truancy, delinquency. This is all no secret. It's publicly available information compiled by the CDC, accessible by anyone capable of executing a Google search. It's getting harder for our kids and grandkids to make it through the day. They haven't even had a chance to live yet, and already they're experiencing hopelessness and despair. They feel so terribly about themselves that they would rather die than live another day. Facebook has evidence that their platform facilitates these mental health spirals for young users, and yet they focused on how to trick them into thinking that scrolling through content that makes them miserable is somehow healthy and normal behavior. Mr. President, our children are not all right, and I'm willing to state for the record that the people pushing success buttons at Facebook, they really do not care. On September 21st, the New York Times published an expose on the company's frankly shocking efforts to rehabilitate its image by promoting pro-Facebook content into user news feeds. By all accounts, this reporting backed the company into a corner. They were caught red-handed manipulating the flow of information, which is a charge that in other contexts has drawn fire from activists, politicians, and even Facebook itself. In response to the well-earned backlash that Facebook received, Mark Zuckerberg chose to avoid accountability, instead made a joke about an anecdote the Times reporters including regarding a video he had posted of himself cruising around on a glorified surfboard. Mr. President, that's the sort of reaction you see from a person who feels that they are invincible. When they feel like they are so rich and powerful and so totally in control of their own destiny, that they're the master of the universe, that no one can touch them. That's what you get. In light of all we've seen in the past from this company and all that we have learned so far from whistleblower, I think it's time to adjust Mr. Zuckerberg's thinking. Accountability, yes indeed. There's bipartisan agreement that it's time for accountability to come, and I sincerely hope that Mr. Zuckerberg and the rest of his Facebook colleagues are prepared for what is coming. I yield the floor.